Welcome Gemini to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 8th of July for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. Your marvellous ruler Mercury forges such an epiphyseant link to the planet of fortune Jupiter in your sign on Monday exactly. But through the first half of this week they're really connecting to each other positively. Your ideas, often very important to you, are given extra animation, but also an extra amount of superpower. So if there's something you're really interested in, enthusiastic about, don't turn down the volume. This is your chance to really articulate what's important to you. But the Sun has been making its way through the part of your situation to do with everyday resources, but also your values, your self-worth. And it is balanced by Saturn, the planet of restraint, but in a very constructive way. That reaches a peak on Thursday. If you have been trying to economise, but at the same time be progressive in terms of work, professional hopes, because Saturn in your 10th house could have meant that you've taken on extra responsibility or you've been setting your goals even higher, but it could mean also that something you had been doing hasn't been working as well. Perhaps a job has come to a close. But I think what you can do with this particular alliance is really see how far you've come and how much you've made the most of whatever your personal circumstances are. Now Venus, also in your 2nd house, hopefully has given you a boost financially recently. But that forges a really lovely link to Neptune, also right at the heart of the week on Thursday. This is an interesting one, I feel. If you are someone who's able to get together with someone that you're fond of, have a nice meal, have a little bit of a chat and a catch up, you may find yourselves really reminiscing, really having a good laugh, but also coming up with some quite brilliant ideas. But on Thursday, Venus does move into the sign of Leo to join up with your ruler Mercury. Venus in Leo is going to give your word power even more sucre over the next few weeks. It's almost as if it's not exactly what you're saying that counts so much. People are really attuned to just your personality, your mode of expression. Now, if you're someone who loves to go on your local karaoke, that could be something you can really enjoy with this transition. But seriously, if you are someone who's got something to say, you can articulate it with that much more charm and persuasion. But Venus does go face to face with Pluto on Friday. And however much you do try to get your point of view across delicately, it may be that someone sees what you're trying to say in a bit of a sinister way. Pluto can often be a little bit like that. So just watch out. There could be a bit of a tussle because your ideas or someone else's ideas don't quite marry. Now, towards the end of the week, Mars applies to Uranus. It becomes exact right at the start of next week. But I would say that this is possibly one of the most challenging aspects you could have at the current time, because for many people who've got a Gemini ascendant or a Gemini sun that's beyond the position of Uranus at the moment, so late Gemini, Uranus is essentially in your 12th house. So Mars moving into that position can stir up a lot of sediment, but particularly towards your past and maybe unresolved angers, frustrations, injustices that you've experienced. Whatever it is, something could come up, and it could come up in quite a surprising and reactive way. So you may find yourself being a little more easily triggered than is usually the case. So if there are people that you encounter that you're not so keen on, just be aware that it's probably best to give them a little bit of a wide berth and focus on what is important to you in your inner world at the present time. But certainly as the week draws to a close and the quarter moon occurs in your sister air sign of Libra, you could be tempted to splash out, be a bit more frivolous. But if you've really earned it from all that application and care that you've been taking around resources, why not? Have a great week, Gemini. Thank you for joining me. And if you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now.